Shalom, shalom. For those that's going to be watching later on, Lord willing, this is edifying through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Salaki, let me make sure the sound is good. Shalom, family. Shalom, family. Okay, the sound worked. The sound is on. Salaki. Okay. Let me make sure I can fix this thing right here. Yes, I can. Okay. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahweh, by Shem Rakakwadash. Honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit. Lord willing, as a whole, that you continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwath. The Akwath, the sister that's faith and is truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife, and Lord willing, this edifying lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom to the brothers. Shalom to the rest of the believers that actually hop into this live. The title of this lesson is you should have a delight to hear the word, and you should have a delight or you should be inspired after reading or hearing the word. So brothers doing lessons, you should be inspired. Okay. This just came just from the thought of, certain little things that me and the brother Yarmaya was speaking on. And, I didn't have a lesson on mine. The focus was to listen to a lesson and, just to be edified. And when brother was saying, I'm thinking about a lesson here and here, and then it hit leaving the gym, that you should have a delight to hearing the word. Like, you should have a delight having conversations about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And most of us have a delight having conversation about bitches, excuse my language, women. Some of us have a delight speaking about sports. You women got a delight speaking about men or bad girls. Do you have a delight on hearing the word or talking about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? And then the thought, we should be inspired after you had a conversation about the Lord, or be inspired after reading or watching a lesson. I know brothers I labor with, they'll watch a lesson, and then right in between the lesson or after the lesson, they come up with an idea on doing a lesson. That is a form of being inspired, right? Look at the men that's cleaving to the elder apostles, the way that they teach. And it's not because, oh, those are the best men in the world. It's because the spirit is moving, and it's not about they're doing gimmicks. They're always teaching, and it's inspiring to you when you see brothers uploading 5 videos out the day, 3 videos. It could probably be 2, and just the title itself is like, wait, hold on. As soon as you play it, the brother is getting in. Either he might tag a video in there. It's inspiring. What does it do? It draws you in, okay? So when the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is truly being taught in truth and sincerity, it is not meant to be dull, lifeless, or merely informational. The word is living, powerful, and purpose-driven. If a man or a woman belongs to the elect, hearing the word should bring light, conviction, and motivation to change. The problem with today is that many hear the word but feeling nothing. They get nothing from it because their hearts, their mind has been hardened, or because they love the world more than the truth. Before I go to this precept I had already ready, let's go to, you can go to 1 John 2, but let's go to James 4:4. I like this one. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Lord. And if you are a friend of the world, eventually you become a lover of the world, the things that it benefit you. Better yet, it's not really the world itself. You love the system. Especially in America, every Jake from the Black, Latino, Hispanics, Native Americans, and then you other heathens, you love this system. When all hell break loose, when power cut off, you can't use your phone, or a whole blackout war going on, a lot of y'all not tapped in, okay? How many of y'all can recognize things that's going on in the world and we hurry up and have conversation with one another, but not one of us is speaking about, yo, this is fulfilling prophecies. A lot of us do not have a delight, or we are inspired by the word, because your conversation should always bring up the word, okay? The number one used book on the earth is the Bible. Better yet, let's go do a fact check real quick. Let's see if this is accurate. So I asked the question, is the Bible the number one book used in the world? AI overview, it says, yes, the Bible is widely recognized as the best-selling and most widely distributed book of all time. Right? Let me say that again. Is the Bible the number one book used in all the world? Yes, the Bible is widely recognized as the best-selling and most widely distributed book of all time. But are you inspired by what you're reading? Right? Are we worried about statistics? Are we really trying to get in there and know what's being said? Why things exist? Why things came to be? Why captivity? Everybody want to say, why would you believe in a God that allowed captivity? If Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai not real, all those other guys that the world claim, they allow captivity too. So who's going to give us the answers? Now this idiot got to go. You got to go. You ain't saying nothing about book, chapter, verse. Okay? So now let's get to this point, man. The righteous are described as people who take pleasure in hearing the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. This is Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of scornful. But his delight is the law of Yahweh, and his law doeth he meditate day and night. So what does this shows? The delight is eternal. You have to have an eternal, an inside. Like this is the internal of my car. But if I leave my car, that's the external. It's the whole focus to be inspired is that it's doing something within. Okay? The delight is internal. And it's not forced. I can't force you to believe in this. I can't force you in the truth. I can't even force my children in this truth. I have to train them in the way that they should go, and they should be able to take the wisdom and knowledge like, yo, my father, my mom is showing me this way. This is how I should go. If they drift away, that's them moving on their own will, and they're not following the play, the audible that their father led them to. Even the same with the wives. A righteous mind wants instruction. Children wants to be corrected. Even if they don't say it, you got children that get corrected. They might mope for like a few seconds and then come back around and say sorry for it. Right? It's good to have correction. What about you grown folks? You do something wrong, you say something stupid, and then somebody try to correct you. Do you take the correction and be like, you know what? I was incorrect. You know what? Thank you for the correction. Hey, let me make an adjustment. Okay? A righteous mind wants instructions. The word becomes spiritual nourishment. We're putting minerals, spiritual minerals in the mind of man, woman, and child. If you're hearing this, if you just watching and you're not receiving it, these minerals ain't doing shit for you. Okay? It's like it's going in one ear and straight out the other. So if someone claims to believe but finds the word boring or irritating, that is a spiritual warning sign that they don't give a damn about this truth. That's why when brothers is on the highways and byways, you can sometimes tell by body language that they want to get the hell up out of there. You know, this truth is really for the elect, those that want it, those that have a delight, those that are inspired. This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 16. It says, thy words were found, and I did eat them. And thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of my heart. For I am called by thy name, O Yahweh, power of hosts. Right? How can we find the words? The Lord is sending the men of the Lord to go to the highways and byways, but not only that, the Lord is having men do sit downs. It might be a car lesson in transit while brothers driving, right? Brothers might just be leaving their house. They might be doing a walk and talk. These lessons is to edify you, to get you ready for the exam. The exam is that hour of temptation, which leads into the MOTB. So when we see Jeremiah, he didn't just hear the word, he consumed it. Because the verse said, thy words were found and I did eat them. Ezekiel, John the Revelator, eat this roll. But all the prophets, apostles, and evangelists had to eat the roll, because before you go outside, you have to be taught and you have to read. When you look at Elisha and Elijah, Elisha was following Elijah, calling him master, looking at how he moved, looking how he believed in the Lord. When Elijah got beamed up, Elisha carried the mantle and did the same thing, and that was a form of being trained on what you should do. Okay, so Jeremiah didn't just hear the word, he consumed it. The word gave him joy even while living in a wicked nation, right? And being put in derision. Now when you go to Jeremiah 20:9, but let me start up at verse 7. Let's hear what Jeremiah's complaint is. It says, O Yahweh, thou hast deceived me. I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and I hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahweh was made a reproach unto me, in a derision daily, right? Because Jeremiah was made a joke. You know, his household made a joke out of him. But verse 9, it says, then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. So as a human, he couldn't overwhelm all this bullshit, side face, angry face, speaking the words that they were speaking to Jeremiah, trying to plot to kill him. Man, I got to do all of this. Man, I'm in derision. Man, I'm not about to speak in your name no more. But then that fire consumed him. Because when the Lord calls you, none of us can leave this. That's another example. Ain't no free will. Because he said, I'm not speaking in his name no more. Let me read it in the NLT, verse 9. But if I say I'll never mention Yahweh or speak in his name, his word burns in my heart like a fire, like it's a fire in my bones. I am worn out trying to hold it in. I can't do it. I call that a spiritual fart. Now, some of us might, like I told myself before I came in this truth, I would never be a pastor. That shit looked boring. And I said it just like that. Man, years. That was like what? I was a little kid. So that was probably like 2007, before I graduated out of high school, 2009. So probably like 2007, between 2009, I said I would never be a pastor. Man, 2015, going into 2019, and look where we at 2025. I'm over here teaching the word, man. Feeling like Jeremiah, man, I would never do that. And the Lord, if he calls you, you got works to do. And now that I'm in this thing, I have a desire, I have a delight. It's sometimes I wake up, I probably didn't get to read a chapter, but I can go around one of my brothers, I can see one of my brothers posting a video in the chat, or I just go on YouTube notification and I'm getting inspired by how brothers is feeding the sheep. It's not about, oh, he did 20 videos, even though you could still speak on it like this brother is dedicated, but you got to look at the long stretch. The videos you putting out is going to feed the sheep, and then there's no excuses for none of us to say, oh, I didn't know what video to watch. Brothers is constantly putting this out for the elect. You could be dealing with something and then you see a certain title, you're like, wait, hold on. And then you click that. Hey, you might be thinking of wisdom. Then you see that. Then you click that. A brother might be going into a chapter you just was meditating on, you scan and look through, or a conversation you had with another brother, and then you go on YouTube and a brother is doing a breakdown lesson on that chapter. Oh, that's a sign. You know what? I gotta go watch this lesson. Then I might be inspired to do a lesson. You gotta fully have a delight in this thing, okay? Even when you angry. Thank you for sharing the word. Call out Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So faithful hearing produces inspiration and actions. Hearing the word correctly should move you. Again, hearing the word correctly. Now, just because of that statement, let me get Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2 in the NLT. It says, then Yahweh said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. And that's the main objective, to bring forth the correct message. To be correct means 100% truth. We're trying to teach sound doctrine. So if you go somewhere else and it's not lining with, like if you listen to somebody bring out the line and it's not lining and bringing forth the same sense, then that should give you a red flag. You know what? Let me not watch that person, because it's really, you want to be watching those that you can agree with, because Paul made it a plain. And if you go through the scriptures, it's better to have no division. If it's 5 brothers teaching and we all go through different corners in the city and we're all teaching the same thing, it makes it more edifying for the sheep in different directions. But if you teaching that over here and then you teaching something else, they teaching something, he teaching something else, you teaching something else, and say if the same person go to the 4 directions where all these brothers is teaching and they teaching the same topic, he's gonna get 4 different understandings. And that's going to bring confusion. Or he might be like, oh, let me take it from all of them and put it to one. That you can't do that. If somebody teaches something else and you teaching it this way, you cannot bring them together and say, oh, it makes sense now, let me just bring them together. We can't just say everything is interchangeable, right? You could say it could be 1-fold, it could be 2-fold, 3-fold, but even if it's 1-fold, 2-fold, the sense still have to be close, the same, okay? This is Romans chapter 10 and verse 17. It says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. Faith doesn't come from emotions. It comes from hearing truth repeatedly. And true faith always produces action. I did a lesson a long time ago that you're going to see the prophets be repetitive, right? They're going to constantly repeat, either bring forth the same precepts or bring forth the same lessons. You got brothers probably doing 4 lessons back to back on faith. You got to hear it repeatedly. Why? Because we're in this flesh and we still in this system. You battling between the spirit and the flesh, you got to constantly hear the word, regardless if it's told over and over and over and over again. Don't you know wickedness is promoted every day, all day? You got female rappers, female singers. Sex is getting sold every day. Why nobody saying I'm getting tired of it? Right? You got the same days coming repeated Monday through Sunday, repeated all over again. You work the same hours, the same days over again. But why you ain't getting mad at that repeat? But because it's the same lesson, like, oh man, we keep hearing the same precepts. A lot of y'all are not inspired. Okay? This is why the Lord set up these words in the scriptures, because they're faithful and true. Let's get that in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. To be documented, the first Bible, which was the Wycliffe Bible, was printed in 1455 in the Winsburg Press. That was the first book ever printed on the Winsburg printing press. And these words is faithful and true. We all the way in 2025. It's not let me go. You have to be able to study and go through the scriptures and separate something that could be incorrect. It could be translation. It could be a clerical error, just like Deuteronomy 23:7, or Doug the Edomite, which is really Assyrian, you know. But that's not, a clerical error is a small mistake, and it all comes from translation. Shalom to the brother. Focus on the kingdom to come. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Call Yahweh Shai Brakatah, right? That's a good point. So the scriptures is faithful and true. Okay, so faith doesn't come from emotions, it comes from hearing truth repeatedly. In the true faith always produces action. Let's get James chapter 1 and verse 22. It says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. And even if I'm using this for myself, when you go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, it says, be the example of the believer. So to be a doer, now you have to know that now what you're teaching, what you're reading, what you're applying within your life, you have to walk it. And if this is not lining with sound doctrine, 100% truth, whatever your actions is, whatever comes out of your mouth, you could be leading somebody the wrong way and you're not going to be a full doer. You have to be a doer and a hearer. In order to take something in, you got to hear. But in order to apply it in your life and to be consistent, persistent, and precise, you have to be a doer. Okay? Paul, he wasn't even a doer until he got afflicted by Yahushua. Now he became a doer when he had to be taught all over again. Okay? Inwardly. Con. So if you leave a lesson and feel no urge to it, examine yourself, correct behavior, strengthen discipline, and separate more from the world. Then the word did not take root. Now, if you not soaking in things that you're reading, it's not hitting your mind, having you, then that means you might have to sacrifice certain things in this world that you might be holding on to. Because like one brother said, he was like, man, I could remember a song. No, I think one of my wives said that they could remember a song, like a verse, and say the whole thing. But then when it comes to, the verses or something that they read, they can't remember it. And they be feeling like, man, I don't know. But I mean, for women, it's not made for you to master to know the deep things in the scriptures. Like master knowing, like I know a lot of women, if you try to put your mind on knowing how to be a wife, how to be a sister, not to be jealous, that's going to be, the Lord is going to allow you to remember those little traits, because that's the traits you must learn, let alone as a student, you just sitting there as a believer, hearing somebody teach you the correct understanding of Yahushua. Regardless if you can't remember the verse, it's about, do you believe are you listening? Are you actually listening? And do you understand what's actually being said to you? And that's it. But for you men, the word has to take root. And if it's not taking root, you have to most likely sacrifice something that you dedicating more time to. Now, if you can remember certain things at work, which I have to have memory on certain things I do at work. If I can remember those and I can't remember certain basic things, precept that brothers bring out, not even saying that. If it comes to me noticing short things that I need to work on, if I'm not working on that, the more I keep doing whatever I'm doing and not working on my weakness, I would never grow strength in that. And it's just like working out. If your back is weak and you constantly just, doing chest and arms, your back is going to be weak. So when you start doing a back workout, you're like, oh man, I can only do like 3 of them. You have to work out that muscle. Sometimes you have to stress a muscle. Then the next time you try to continue to work on it. First, you got to stretch it, because you got to stress the muscle because you're not used to using it. Then when you get used to using it, now you're about to start building that muscle. It's the same with lifting weights. You might never strain that muscle. You might not be able to lift 135. So you're going to strain it that one time. You're giving a stress to your muscles. Now you're about to go lower. And you're going to push that for a few times. You stress that muscle. You train that muscle. Now that muscle is ready to go up a weight. And it's the same when it comes to this truth. Shalom to the brother Yerumya, Yahweh Shemashai Barakatah. So the word quickens the elect. The word is spiritually alive and energizing to those who belong to Yahweh. This is why we have an excitement. When brothers dropping precept, or when you see brothers doing videos back to back, it brings the energizer, through the spirit, Energizer Bunny. You get excited Like, and I'm always saying this on TikTok when brothers be doing live after live or video on TikTok. I'd be like, yo, brother, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta do a lesson. And most of the time I might not say it, but sometimes I might get inspired by seeing a brother go back to back doing a live. Or I'm getting inspired by seeing so many notifications. I'm like, man, let me put my foot in there. Maybe this is a sign of the Lord, man, yo, go do a video. Since I've been live, I haven't gotten no notifications. But before I went live, I'm getting notification, video after video. I'm getting drawn to be like, yo, the sheep have to be fed. Okay? And it's motivating because even before I do the lesson, I'm asking that I get inspired about while doing the lesson. Because I gotta read it and I gotta give the sense. And even after this lesson is done, I gotta thank Yahweh Shem Al Shai that he gives me, thank him that he put in my spirit to have a delight to hearing the word, a delight to actually teaching the word. Then I gotta thank him for inspiring me to teach the word and inspiring me to go read, inspiring me to go hear brothers do a lesson. I just got done listening to the brother, Matazabeth, the brother GMS Australia. Seen him do his lesson. Let me tell you the title of his lesson. Actually, I was listening to News and Prophecies. Yahweh mustereth the host of the battle. Then I listened to the brothers in Saint of Jersey too. The brother was going into the Yahweh Shai was the example of humility. The greatest example of humility, Yahweh Shai, the superfood of this truth is humility. Brothers was going into that. I'm like, man, dang, man, you know what? I need to be more humble, you know? Then it started making me think of a fast, like, Yahweh Shemal Shai, I want to fast on more wisdom, knowledge, understanding. That's a key thing of mine. I want to fast to be able to have the spiritual powers to heal. I have a desire for that right now. And then I want to fast on being more humble, but not only for me. Brothers that's sincere and diligent in this thing, please allow if you allow me to fast, allow this fast to be for brothers to be more humble too. You know? But this is a delight. This is what it inspires me. Because I believe the more I do these things, it's going to make me continue to feed the sheep, continue to apply the things in my life so I can motivate those that's in my household, right? This is bigger than just one person, okay? Somebody said, Jesus is the only way to heaven. Jesus came to save everyone, not just the Hebrew Jews. Repent. You cannot cast judgment on anybody. Look at yourself. Look at your own heart. Now, first and foremost, this lesson wasn't on any nation. This was really for the Israelites to know, to have a delight and to be inspired by hearing or teaching the word. But now that you're speaking about he's not just for the Hebrew Jews, it's more than just Jews. The whole 12 tribes of Israel is not Jews. Now for you, you just talking out your mouth, but you ain't bringing out no precepts to show that repentance or that Yahweh Shai died for everyone. That wouldn't make sense if you can agree that the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, who you call Jesus, he was an atonement. If you say yes, I'm going to agree with you. But if you go back to the law and understand atonement, especially for the priest, he was doing a sacrifice for himself and for his household. Then he did a sacrifice for the nation of Israel. That was an atonement for our sins. What nation, if you have a precept, what Edomite, what Elamite, what Hamite, what Japhite, what descendants of these other nations made an atonement? Show me the verse where it says these nations made an atonement. Because that's what Yahweh Shai came down here for, to be an atonement. That's one example. If you can't show a verse that the other nations made an atonement, he didn't come down here to be atonement for them. That wouldn't make no sense. He never went into a physical temple, but it was described that he went to the most holiest place, and now he's in the order of Melchizedek, in the priesthood. None of the other nations was going in the temple unless they were going there to defile the temple. None of the other nations made a sacrifice unto the Lord. We can go to Psalms chapter 51 or 50, verse 5. Only the saints made a sacrifice to the Lord. Where's your precepts? No, and we're going to get back to the lesson. But you not dropping out no verse. You saying we're not under the law. Yes, we're under grace. But where it says that he came to fulfill the law, it never said in one verse that he fulfilled the fringes. No, he came to fulfill the sacrificial law. That's why when you go into Hebrews, the 10th chapter, everything that the priest had to do was a foreshadow of things to come, greater, which was him. Okay? I'm just only giving the understanding for anybody that's watching this. Okay? We're under grace. Okay? We're under grace because of what Yahawashi has done, and he fulfilled the law by being the sacrifice. It's not saying he fulfilled the law by wearing fringes. He fulfilled the law by not eating pork. No, he fulfilled the law on what he came to do as being a sacrifice. Okay? We had to get in there. We had to say something. But let's get back to this point. The word quickeneth the elect. Quickeneth means to make alive. So this is St. John, the 6th chapter, in verse 63. It says, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So the spirit makes you alive. Quickeneth means to make alive, give life. So the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Shai made us alive. Not everyone, truly the elect, the true believers. To the elect, the word revives, the word sharpens, the word awakens urgency. To the wicked, the word annoys them, the word offends them, and the word exposes them, just like him. He most likely might not even be an Israelite, but this word just exposed him, because this is another thing. When you defend the gospel with precept upon precept. You don't defend the gospel by running your mouth saying shabba dabba ding dong. And this is the whole point. When you teach, you have to care for the sheep. You have to be stern on what you're saying and not be immovable. Be able to prove what you're saying. And sometimes you could prove it by teaching what you're teaching, and then you could prove it by using whatever somebody else is trying to show and be like, oh, that's what you think the scripture going into? This is what it's going into. Let me show more precept. And they'll change the goalpost and go somewhere else. For a sheep that's watching, you have to know somebody that can actually give understanding and edify. To edify means to build. So if the topic is going on something, you have to see somebody build the right structure for that understanding. Then you have to understand, are they inspired to argue or inspired to edify? Don't be inspired to argue. Don't be inspired to be the person to be right. We supposed to make Yahweh B'Shem Shai right and every man a liar. Be inspired to learn, okay? Be inspired to understand what somebody is saying before you rebuke. You have to take it in, and then when all is said and done, you got to take your butt back to the drawing board and go read these verses and be like, yo, why he say this? Why he say that? That's going to show if you inspired. That's going to show if you have a delight, okay? So this is why the same message can inspire one man and enrage another. That goes into what Paul said. Sometimes we teach this gospel is a good fragrance. It's that Hamashiach fragrance, but to others is a fragrance of death. So inspiration comes even through rebuke. It feels good when you get rebuked, because the reason why it feels good is because when you make a mistake and a brother trying to make sure to let you know this is what it's actually going into, you get to go fix that before the sheep eat it. You know, when your child about to eat something, smack it out their damn hand, you want to make sure that the sheep is eating the right food, right? True inspiration doesn't always feel good sometimes. It comes through correction, and sometimes it might be harsh, okay? Sometimes you need a spiritual weapon. This is Proverbs chapter 9 in verse 8. It says, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Now, through the Spirit, you want to rebuke those that actually can take it. I don't want to constantly rebuke somebody that get in their emotions and feelings. Soon as I do it one time and I see, oh, no, guess what? I'm not about to rebuke you, but I'm going to make a lesson about you, or I'm going to make a lesson about that point, you know? But you rebuke brothers that actually can take it and change. This is another reason why it's good to have congregations where a brother slip and then you rebuke him and then you go make a lesson like, hey, da 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 da. So now he got the rebuke face to face and then he get motivated because guess what? We supposed to look, it's somebody else dealing with the same thing you dealing with. So now you can get edified by another lesson and you get to know it's other sheep out here that might need that same rebuke. And now you got two little warnings, face to face, and then you got the little lesson right here, right? This is bigger than ourselves, okay? So it's better to rebuke a wise man because he gonna love you. I'm not about to rebuke a scorner, somebody that don't want to accept correction. Give instruction to a wise man and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man and he will increase in learning. That's the whole point, for us to increase in learning, to increase in faith. If you don't see somebody increase in learning or instruction, redirection, then this might not be for him. Guess what? Move. Do the Beyonce. To the left, right? See, this person got to go too. Trump is God. Hey, I'm gonna say I'm glad Yahweh Shema Shai got Trump in office because Lord willing, he's gonna bring forth the MOTB. But saying Trump is God, he out of pocket, you know. Trump is a damn demon if you want to say that. But at the end of the day, Trump is doing this thing. So wise Israelites love correction, grow from rebuke, is motivated to improve. If someone only wants smooth words, they are not seeking righteousness. So let's go to the classic in Isaiah the 30th chapter, verse 9 and 10. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. A lot of people don't want structure when it comes to teaching. Some brothers and sisters don't want us to be too deep. It's not us being deep, it's just how the scriptures is, and you got to go into history, especially when it goes into prophecy. I can't just go into a prophecy and just say one thing. Even with the MOTB, we can expound on it, and it's just playing upon tables, but you can add other elements, especially when you look at the charagma being a physical mark. In this age, it would be technology. But when you look at a mark back in the ancient time or in the beginning of slavery in America, they would melt, they would put a metal rod in a fire. As soon as it's red hot, they'll put it on you just to mark you, just like in Spartacus or in the Roman captivity where they used to do the gladiators. When you had a Dominos master, you would get branded with his initial. And that was back then to say who you belong to. But in this new age, this new marking is going to say that you're with the system, which is not going to be, let me burn a metal rod. They're going to use a modern day system, which is technology. So I just expound on those things. And if somebody have a plain common sense, I'm like, oh man, that makes sense. But then other things you might have to stack it up, different precepts here and here. A real person that has a delight is going to take the time to hear the whole conclusion and the end result and be like, dang, wow, all of that. It is not about being amazed. Oh, wow, you can go in the scriptures. Hey, that's cool. But did you hear anything I just said? To be inspired is another form of just listening. The people of Berea did the same thing, man. It doesn't matter how long Paul was teaching, what he was going in, but they knew he was going in the scriptures. This is Acts the 17th chapter, verse 10. I'll read in the NLT, make it more plain. It says that that very night, the believers sent Paul and Silas to Berea. When they arrived there, they went to the Jewish synagogue, which is no such thing as Jewish or Jew. The J-O-O is only Jews. Jew synagogue, that the people of Berea were more open-minded than those in Thessalonica. And they listened eagerly to Paul's message. They searched the scriptures day after day to see if Paul and Silas were teaching the truth. That's what we all supposed to do with each lesson. Hear it before you open your dumb mouth. Now, unless you add into the lesson dropping precepts, but regardless if you know or don't know, that's different. If you are a teacher, you're going to most likely drop precepts in the comment section. But if you don't know If you never heard that understanding before, you're gonna be like the people of Berea, and you're gonna listen eagerly to the message. And then you're gonna search the scriptures day after day or daily to see what, if I was teaching the truth. You're gonna go into these precepts, then you're gonna go into history that lines up with it. And you're gonna be, if you're persuaded through the Spirit, you're gonna be like, wow, that brother was teaching the truth. But in this day and age, everybody just think that they just know something, right? Because first, you have to be spiritual. Second, you have to have that spirit, you have to have that breath of life in you, that quickening spirit, right? Because 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 to 14, even the Spirit is going to have you search the deep things. Shalom to the brother, fellow brother 161, Yahweh Shai Brakatah, right? So if you got the Spirit in you, you're going to search the deep things, not the deep things out of the Bible, unless it's backing the Bible, hyphing up the Bible, increasing the understanding. But mainly you searching the deep things when it comes to prophecies, parables, or how to get the understanding of the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You have to search. You have to dig deep in those things, right? This truth is not something simple. But those that's constantly doing the work, constantly being about this truth, is simple to you because it's like second nature, okay? So, we almost done. The word strengthened us in these last days. How? We are in a time where prophecy is moving fast, and the word is meant to prepare, not entertain. When you go into this word in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, let me get this real quick. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 15, it says, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Now, the word preparation in this word that I want to get, Salaki, the word preparation in verse 15. Why am I doing this? Okay, there we go. G2091.
Strong's G 2091. Hetoi Masia. Hetoi Masia.
Matoi Masia. Preparation in the biblical usage mean the act of preparing. So this is what we doing. When brothers is bringing forth this word, this lesson, and you take it in, the whole point each day from Monday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, week after week, month after month, year after year, is to prepare you for what's to come. This is not entertainment. This is not about me getting money. Fuck money. Fuck entertainment. You want entertainment? Go put on Mega Thee Stallion and go watch her lie about getting shot in her foot. Go watch that entertainment. Go watch Bad Girls Club. Go watch freaking Power if you want to. But when brothers is teaching the word, it's supposed to prepare you. You're supposed to take this and work through this trial that we're in right now so that you can pass the final exam. The final exam, regardless if you believe it or don't, is the MOTB. Right? The famine of the word, the MOTB, Jacob's trouble. This whole thing is a trial. When you go to work, that's a mother-sucking trial, because are you still at peace with men? When I'm going to work and I see an Edomite or my boss is an Edomite, man, I'm not doing that. This is a place of business. This is where I work and to provide for my household. Okay? But I'm only here to teach the word. I'm not here to bump heads with a damn Edomite at work. That's going to mess up my damn job. Until the Lord shake up this kingdom and we're removed from our jobs, then the MOTB come. We're about to be pilgrims on the earth. Then now it's on you're on alert mode, and you're on protection mode for your family. Okay? This is way bigger than what you think. It's not about, oh, well, let's just live our day-to-day lives. No, this is every day is getting closer to getting the hell up out of here. Every day closer is to the MOTB. Every day closer is the coming of Yahweh Shai. You don't want to be somebody that's enjoying yourself and he comes back just like the time of Noah and Lot. Everybody partying and playing around, parlaying and bullshitting around like Biggie Smalls, but you haven't been spiritually prepared. You haven't been spiritually tested. Okay? I'm going to read this verse, and then I'm going to read what the brother said in the comment section real quick. So when you go to the book of Nehemiah, the 8th chapter, verse 10, let's get this real quick. It says, then he said unto them, go your way and eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto your Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of Yahweh is your strength. Right? So hearing the word strengthens patience, strengthens endurance, strengthens hope for deliverance. That's the main focus. Are you not hoping for deliverance? Do you have a rulership mindset? Do you have a salvation mindset? Or are you just worried about six figures? When I get my check, Lord willing, and bills is paid, I got a few dollars in my pocket. As long as the bills paid, my children got a roof, they can go get their little education. My focus on the kingdom. My 5-year plan is to be ready if shit break the roof. My 10-year plan is to still be able to have my house function. But if the MOTB come, I'm getting ready to say F this system. My mindset is not to get the top career, to travel the 4 seas. My mindset is believing that, looking at prophecies, Yahweh Shai is coming soon. My mindset is not thinking about being here for another 10 years. Now, if I am, I got to make sure my children is built up in the mind, because most of my children going to be almost close to 20. So if they decide to leave, they decide to get a job, they got to be prepared what's out in this world, because they don't know shit that's going on the phone, on the game. They don't know what's going on. So my mind is always on alert. Sometimes my family might just think ain't nothing. I might smile at everybody, but I'm still in my mind. A lot of y'all do not know what's about to unfold because you're not tapped in, man. What they say in wrestling, when they do a tag team match, tap me in. You're not tapped in, man. Okay? That joy is not laughter, it's confidence in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's promise to the elect. So let me read these comments. We're going to read this last point, then we're going to close. The brother said, what does the MOTB stand for? Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16, 17, it's the mark of the beast, which on this side, which will be a RFID chip, that get implanted in your right hand, but any hand or anywhere they want, and in your brain. And when you go into the word mark in the Greek, it's karagma. It's a badge of servitude in the Strong's definition. Right? So some people, like other congregations, which is a lie, they'll say that the mark is spiritual. But it's saying in Revelation 13 that this beast is going to create it, which is this Edomite system. And Babylon is going to promote it and push it. So how is Esau being spiritual? When he made the waster, the ICBM missile, was he spiritual? No. He was helped by the left-hand side, which of course they do demonic stuff, but they're not spiritual. They're all carnal. So how can you make it spiritual? Some people teach it's sin. If the charagma is sin, we already have it, because we're all filthy rags. We all came short of the glory. We're all sinners. So you have to look at the modern time. It says that they was going to deceive the world, deceive the nations. How are they deceiving the nations with sin? How are they deceiving the nations spiritually? No, they're deceiving the world with technology, AI, right? Project Bluebeam, which is AI. Right, in the White House website, they said that they're going to create implantable devices. Donald Duck is over here talking about implantable devices using 6G. So when you go into Revelation 13, it says, let's just go into it just for those that's watching that don't know. Revelation 13, verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which is really the system, right? This new world order system, right, under Rome, right? It says that the image of the beast shall both speak, cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And it's talking about you're not bowing down to the system. What is the system? The system it all stems back to Rome, but it's talking about the allies, the NATO, the European Union, the World Economic Forum. They're going to push a worldwide agenda stemming from the elites that really run all these empires or these plants, these investments, these banks, and they're going to implement it because they want to control their investment, which is us. We are the investment. We are the subjects under the top elites. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So you can't buy or sell unless you have this mark. Sin, nobody in history ever bought with sin. Oh, hey, I committed adultery. How are you going to prove that? That doesn't make sense. So you have to use spiritual common sense to understand we are in modern day time. Or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Which is 666. Going into Revelation 18 is really high size stigma. And that goes into a prick, a physical mark. Look at modern day time. Don't they, when the flu virus came out, they try to give you a V vacuum in your arm. That's physical. So when it comes to buying and selling, don't we physically go in our pocket, physically go in our phone to make transactions? You have certain stores that allow you to buy just by face recognition or palm taking your fingerprint. In a minute, it's about to go to a physical device. Okay? And I got a video just to back that up. I don't know if a lot of y'all know about the movie Trading Places by Aaron Russo. And what's his name? Nicholas Rockefeller. Now, since I got the video on that phone, I'm gonna have to look to the brother Manatazak's channel, and I gotta find it right here. Lord willing, this is evil. This is it. This is what we want right here. Let me play this for y'all real quick.
The will of the Lord. Makakwadash. An RFID. Makakwadash. An Makakwadash. Shalom to the elect. Shalom. Shalom. The whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally. Total control. Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people. And that chip's connected to
Now, Salaki. Now, this man ain't, you didn't see this man bring out no Bible verse. He just speaking from the source. Because he was friends with Nicholas Rothschild. He was a director, a producer of movies and other things that he do. But he was friends with Nicholas Rothschild. He's not speaking from the Bible. He's speaking from the source. Nicholas Rothschild is a person that's part of the bank chain. Okay? You had Nathan Rothschild, I believe, that made a quote and said, he don't care what person they put in the government in Britain. Whoever controls the money in Britain is really the ruler of the empire. And he said, since I control the money in Britain, I am the emperor. I'm the true emperor, just behind the scene. So even the elites, right? We have a central bank in America. I think they're trying to establish a central, because it's a list that I have. I don't know if it's in this phone, but they got a list of showing the people that didn't accept a central bank in their country. Venezuela was one of them. Now they got exit off, so I don't know. They could be making a central bank over there, but the list, one of the nations was Venezuela, and another one that's not marked is Iran. I think Iran actually got one now. I would have to go through my phone to actually look. Actually, I could do it right now. And North Korea is the only place that don't have a central bank. This man is speaking from the source, man. The brother Yeremia put Job 5:12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. They're going to this enterprise, but It might be for a minute. It might be for a week. The Lord is going to make it short. That's going to be a huge eye opener. You know how many people about to go take that? Hold on, let me see if I got a picture. Lord willing, I didn't delete it. I probably did. Did I delete it? Oh man, I did delete it. I had it. I had the one joint, but we can just go with this. Come on, man. You want to eat? You want to buy? Take the C-hip. Right? Oh, it was a small delay. We was reading Job 5:12. He appointed the devices of the crafty so that so their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right? They think that they're gonna fully complete their little mission that they're gonna do, but really, it's not gonna even be standing for a moment, right? Because soon as the Lord got that handful of those 2/3, and the world is deceived by this little dumbass miracle, yo, it's a done deal. And this is all in this simultaneously Jacob's trouble. We're already in that walk right now, Jacob's trouble, but it hasn't got fiery hot. Soon as 2026 hit off, shit was hitting the fan, right? This is why when it comes to getting your life in order spiritually and mentally so that you could physically act it out, we got to stop making, oh man, I got to get more on fire. Oh, I got to do better. Man, I got to stop slacking. Yo, how many times you told your ass that and never did anything about it? Let me get this real quick before the brother Yeremia do. Because my brother, he will get quick. Proverbs 4:16, it says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. They're not sleeping. Okay? Revelations 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. They only got a short moment. Their kingdom is for a little season, and they got a small moment. Everything you see happening in the world, this is all because of the top chain. Those elites is getting everything ready to bring forth their system, man. Jake, what, yo, they promoting games. They promoting this bullshit. It's a lot of people in the world that's not even talking about what's going on. You know, everybody excited about the dumb Super Bowl. You got NBA. This is Rome all over again. They're exciting you by entertainment. The elites don't give a damn about none of that because they want control. Well, I'm gonna care about sports. That's for y'all. They're getting off by making you fall. They're getting off by making sure you work as much as you can, and then they're gonna raise up people. Rent is going up. You ain't gonna be able to do what you want. So now they want you to have a moment to say, man, F them kids, F this. I'm about to go do this, and then you're gonna be short on money. They want you to need them. Jake been working at the same job for 15 years and ain't got shit to show for it. I've been working at this job for 15 years and I'm in debt. I live by myself. I don't got no kids. How am I in debt? You've been working at the same job for 15 years. You ain't got shit to show for. You just been trying to survive.
Your purchasing records, what you do,
everything is in there, you know. And so they want a one world government controlled by them. Everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal. That's their intentions.
Eric,
you rolling? What happened on 9/11 is a phony, you know, and we've never learned the truth about 9/11. The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib. They do whatever they want to do. What we want doesn't matter. anymore. It's their agenda, it's their plans that matter. They have all the money they want. They can make all the money they want. They have a machine that can make all the money. It's not about money. It's about control. It's about their vision of how they want to see the world. You hear George Bush saying democracy means freedom. No. Democracy equals New World Order. And he calls it all about
Yo, you got to understand, it's you living in a system. It's 1044. Call y'all, Bashar Mashar, Bashar Makakwa Dash. You have to know that you're living in a system. A lot of people can't understand Daniel the 7th chapter. Line up with Revelations 12. Line up with Revelations 11. Line up with Revelations the 17th chapter, the 18th chapter, the 20th chapter. You have to know prophecy is a key. I'm not saying nothing else is important in the scriptures. Prophecy is key for you to understand how America got set up. Why is the Black, Latino, Hispanics, Native Americans scattered 4 corners of the earth? Why is majority of the Israelites in Babylon? Why have the nation's name changed? Why nobody in the world has the biblical names except for you got these small hats calling themselves juju beings? And then the president of Venezuela said all those juju beings that's living in the state of Israel, they're not the real juju beings. And even the prime minister, the man gonna say that he's really a Poland. Then the next day he get taken right out of Venezuela. This is bigger than what you know. If you don't master prophecy and history, you're not gonna know where you at. Right? Had a conversation with somebody on live yesterday on TikTok about freaking who is Babylon, who is the beast in Revelation 11. They're gonna say, oh, that's an old beast. How is that an old beast when John the Revelator, he was writing this after Babylon was destroyed? Oh, this is not speaking about ancient Babylon. We know this is future Babylon. Oh, it can't be a future Babylon. A lot of y'all haven't even mastered what's going on in these scriptures, but you ready to go teach. You ready to go fin, but you really don't even know the deeper sense of these scriptures, man. That's why you got to be inspired to learn. Right? Yeah, the brother Yoram, you're definitely, to the fellow brother, definitely listen to what the brother's saying, man. All praise to Yahweh. I mean, you could always say, you could say all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Just say it in, in the words. Call Halayim Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Especially if you give an honor to the Father and the Son, you want to say their name. That's just like, if I'm talking to a brother, I'm not going to say, yo, nigga, or yo, AJ, unless I'm real cool with him. He want me to say AJ. But the Heavenly Father never said, call me my nickname. Call me by abbreviations. Okay? Call me by a letter. No. What is his name? You got to glorify, magnify, reveal his name unto the sheep. Reveal it to your household. Because you want the, when you dying, you're not, oh, praises to Yahweh, oh, praises to the Most High. No, you ain't gonna say you ain't gonna say so like y'all gotta look at the screen. You ain't gonna say APTTMH. No, you want to say his name. See, we just said this right now, man. For all of y'all that's watching later on, Proverbs 9 and 8 just happened right now. Rebuke a wise man and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise and he will be yet wiser. A wise Israelite loves correction, grows from rebuke, is motivated to improve. If someone wants smooth words, they are not seeking righteousness. So for the brother to take that correction, that I'm just saying, that was a spiritual example, just how that just happened. The brother said, yo, thank you for the correction, then hurried up and said it. That is the examples we want for ourselves. It's not about, hey, yo, look at that brother. Everybody should be able to take that example, be like, you know what, man, I be thinking I'm always right. I'm stubborn. When somebody tell me, you know what, that is an example for all of us to know. Whenever you slip, if somebody corrects you, take it, change it, and now apply it in your life, and then you good. Hey, maybe in the longer run, you might need another correction, but at that moment, you got your correction. That should motivate you. And then it shows you real brotherly love. Okay? It's not brotherhood over doctrine. When brothers is showing scripture-wise, saying the name, or when it comes to certain things that's supposed to be correct, a brother telling you this is what it really is, you got to take that correction, because you could be telling somebody else and teaching them the wrong way. If you don't got that correction, how are you going to walk in the correct way? Okay? The brother said we supposed to be like Yahushua. That is a fact. Let me get a precept for the brother. We about to close. I keep saying that. 1 John chapter 2 verse 6. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk even as he walk. Right? Yahushua was a minister. Right? Those that have the ability, you should be walking like a minister. Right? Going tit for tat. Yahushua didn't go tit for tat. Okay? He gave you that message. You didn't receive it. He kept it freaking moving. Okay? Another thing that Yahushua did, he showed obedience and he showed sacrifice. Then he showed moments, yes, he's in the flesh, let this cup pass over me, but God was still was in the spirit, let it be your will, not my will. Every example, humility, very lowly. You could be a captain. You supposed to be the lowest out of everybody in your congregation. Just because I might, oh, that brother got all the precepts. Just because I have it, I still got to be lowly. I still got to meet some of you brothers and sisters at the level you is so you can receive it. I don't have to be hard, and unless you showing me that nigga in you, I can show that to you too. But if you trying to be sincere, not trying to show contention, it could just be a question that's so simple. If I can recognize it, you know what, brother, I'm going to answer it. Then I answer it. Okay, you know what? Thank you for answering it. Okay, now I got my understanding. I don't have to be hostile with you. That's the same example as Yahushua. Okay? Peter trying to stop the flow. Oh no, you ain't gonna die. Man, Satan, get behind me. Sometimes you might have to get stern. You know, sometimes you got to get stern, man. Okay? What? Sometimes we gonna get pleasant. Sometimes you're gonna be gentle. Sometimes you're gonna get so deep in there. Okay? You got to feed what's in front of you. Right. Right. That's a fact. We all do. So if you are truly of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you delight in hearing the word. You leave lessons inspired, not empty. If you want to be empty, you want to be like this cup. You feel convicted, motivated, and sharpened. You grow stronger in faith and obedience. The word is not for spectators. It is for transformation. Right? When you watch the Transformers, spiritually, when they transform, think of yourself. Have you transformed yet? Have you grew? Right? The more, I tell my brother always said, he said, keep doing whatever you're doing, because my facial hair started growing. And what I was doing was being more into the word, putting more time into reading, more time in actually doing lessons. And I started my facial hair growing, And when I go to the gym and I'm working out, I always think I got to work out my mind. I got to make sure I'm doing the work of the Lord. 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter, verse 10, right? If you don't work, you don't deserve to eat. And I'm here to do the business of the Lord. I know my purpose. Do you know yours? My purpose is to teach and to be the example of this truth, because my number one talent is the gift of gab. I like talking. So I have to constantly use that talent, not for myself, but for the sheep. Okay? So let's just get this. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. So like y'all. Sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intent of the heart. So if the word is alive and it lives in you, then every time you hear it, you should make something up inside of you. You should wake something up inside of you. Again, the word is quick and it's powerful. A brother could do a 5-minute lesson, a 10-minute lesson, a 15-minute, and it could be a little small conversation you having with a brother. It should be quick. That's why I'm saying, for me, because I am a teacher, if I could have a conversation about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, did I get inspired by a lesson? Sometimes I'm at work, my brother Yarmayan, he talking to me while I'm listening to a lesson. I'm inspired by this lesson, but I'm like, wait, hold on, Ak, you just said something. Ak, what did you just say? And then I'm listening to him, and I'm zoning out after what he said, and somehow whatever he said, I'm about to do a lesson off of. And then somehow what I was watching all day at that 12-hour shift, I'm about to do a Lammy back in the morning. That doesn't mean I'm better than anybody, but just for myself, going off of this lesson, do you have a delight having conversations? Do you have a delight that you got to go read? Do you have a delight to doing a lesson? And are you inspired after you did a lesson? Are you inspired after what you read? Are you inspired after the conversation you just had? That lets me know, you know what, I believe. But that doesn't mean that's enough. I need to believe more, because the obstacles that's ahead is going to be way tougher. You never been afflicted because you're teaching the truth. Have you got pistol whipped because you teaching Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai? Have you had somebody throw a rock at you because you teaching Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai? Have you got removed off of the street? Have the cops stopped you from teaching? Now, I had moments where guns was pointed at us. You know, brothers stepped up on us because we was teaching the way we was. But that's that moment. Has it constantly happened? It haven't happened yet, man. The ministry haven't fully got afflicted yet. So this right here, we all on borrowed time. Are you building up that spiritual muscle to be able to withstand that? Somebody being contentious and they just being loud. Are you about to be angry? But do you have the spirit that, you know what? We can either move over, go down the street, and we can continue, or we could just continue here and just be about our own business and teach the camera and let him be a video. Are you gonna get robbed? I mean, I'm ready to fight you, because we supposed to be examples while we teaching this word for the sheep. Okay? So again, this word is alive and it lives in you. Every time you hear it, it shall wake something up inside of you. That's why it's important to watch lessons, right? If you ain't doing shit and you missed an hour hearing a lesson, you missed time reading, right? You should be going into, you should find some type of way. If it's 12 hours in a day, 12 hours at night, and you miss the time to get in there, you should find a way to get in there, because you need to get inspired by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. You need to have a delight. Because it's this verse that I cannot get out of my head. I can't get it out of my head, man. This is the book of Psalms, the 11th chapter, in verse 4. I'm reading the KJV and the NLT. In the KJV, it says, Yahweh is in his holy temple. Yahweh's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. In the NLT, it says, but Yahweh is in the holy temple. Yahweh still rules from heaven. He watches everyone closely, examining every person on earth. You know, I don't like being on the camera. I don't like being watched. But guess what? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is watching you all times, man. You got to put on a good show for the Lord. We are actors. You are in a story. You are in a live movie right now. And the cameras are on you, man. Eyes is on you from the angels, from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The spirit is watching you, man. You are always being watched. Are you performing your lot? Is you performing your duties for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai? Let alone, is you, as a man, are you doing this work for your family? Is you doing the work for yourself? Because you as a man and you got a family, all this weight is on you for them to get saved. The Lord is looking at you to look at them. You're doing the heavy. Your wife ain't going into the prophecies. Remember, that's not for her. That's not even for the children. The Lord is watching you. Is you training them up? Is you training your wife up, your wives, to be the way that you want them to be, so that they could be an example for your daughters, so that they could be an example when they walk outside, right? And even any other girl that you building with, is you trying to make her an example. You're being watched. Everything you do. When you go to work, you being watched. How you deal with these damn these teddy bears. When you dealing with Jake that's in the world, the Lord is watching. How are you dealing? Right? Even the angels is trying to watch how you dealing with this, man. This, Salaki, this is going to be the last one. I'm sure of it. This is Hebrews chapter 1, verse 14. Wait. Hebrews chapter 1, verse... Wait, what was it? No, Salaki, not Hebrews. Is it 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 12? Yes, this is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 12. I'm going to read the KJV and NLT. It says, unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us that did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Ghost, sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into. In the NLT, it says, they were told that their messages were not for themselves, but for you. So just like these lessons, this is not just for myself. This is really for y'all. But as a believer, I'm going to always say that this lesson was for me too, right? But these lessons, these letters is for y'all, right? I don't do this to get views and likes. I'm not trying to be, I want to be a celebrity in the Lord's kingdom. Excuse my language. What the fuck is a celebrity on this side? You be a celebrity, they'll find a little video or something just to make a mockery of you, or just to or to make fun of you. Oh, he was doing this. Oh, look, they got the paparazzi finding you in a different weird angle, and then they go make a meme about you. But when in the kingdom, man, you gonna have fame. Shit down here ain't mapping out to be what you think it is. Okay? So 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 12 in the NLT again. They were told that their messages were not for themselves, but for you. And now this good news has been announced to you by those who preach in the power of the Holy Spirit sent from heaven. It is all so wonderful that even the angels are eagerly watching these things happen. Even the angels are eager. How you gonna overcome? How is you dealing with this, brother? Like right now, each day, the angels, for those that's being diligent, they're seeing how you overcome, how you rebuke the left-hand side, how you get consumed with the left-hand side, and you're alerted in your mind, like, wait, hold on, it's a demon, you know, how about you must shy? And then they're watching you. They're watching how you dealing with your mortgage, how you dealing with your nagging wife that's arguing back and forth, how you dealing that you lost your job, then your health problem, you got cancer, you got diabetes. They are watching how are you still doing it. I know brothers got back problems. I know brothers that got really money problems, but still making it work. Like even my one brother, this man will go through what he's doing and still do a lesson and go back and care about other brothers, and knowing he got other problems. That's not because of us. It's a drive of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in them. The angels is watching every last one of us. Y'all, we all going to do different things, and he's watching how. And then on the behalf of the men, the Lord is watching your household, watching your children for your behalf, watching your wife. That's why most of the time, some of you brothers, your wife is in order because the Lord had put that righteous angel around them and protected them because of you. Because she's doing the best that she can of herself. She's having a week, a month with no left-hand side spirit, but it could be that one day the Lord is testing that girl ass, and then might put a left-hand side to test her, and then she got an attitude. She acting a certain way. She acting a certain way to this sister. That's not her. It's the left-hand side doing their duty. But if she got the spirit of the Lord, she gonna rebuke it. The Lord is watching, man. That's why when the feminine word come, the Lord is going to watch even more, because it's going to be a shadow of darkness over the earth. But those that are of the elect, you're going to be covered, and the Lord is watching how you managing. If you go 3 days without eating, the Lord was doing that to see how far you're going to go. You don't got no water. You on the move. You looking over your shoulder. The Lord is watching how you overcoming each step. Is you giving up? Right? The MOTB pushed. Now they knock on your house. Hey, look, we went digital. Is you taking this Karamanar? Y'all gonna have to go. And guess what? We not waiting for you to unpack or get a U-Haul. You got to go right now. We'll take your stuff out, and you can come back days later and get it. That's gonna be a eye opener. Is you ready to live outside? Is you ready to live in an abandoned house? They are watching how you overcome that, man. The MOTB no joke. Then Jacob trouble, the Lord is saying, who gonna call on me? Who's praying to me? Who's gonna count on me when they want some food or something to drink or shelter? Who's calling on me? Because when Jacob the full wave, your mindset should be a pilgrim. Pilgrim means to look for a traveler looking for holy land. Have a delight and be inspired, man. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always makes this possible day in and day out, Yahweh. Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word, Lord willing, that you all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Aquaf, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, that you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. With that, shalom, shalom, abba, babal. Shalom.